It feels like everywhere you look lately, things are just spinning, you know?
Yeah.
We get hit with this huge wave of information. There's conflict everywhere in the news.
All the time.
And just the sheer stress of daily life makes it feel almost impossible to like hold on to yourself, your own well-being.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay grounded, stay you, when everything feels so chaotic?
Well, that feeling, that sense of chaos, that's exactly why we dug into this particular set of sources.
Okay.
And this isn't just, standard self-help stuff. It's quite dense insights into consciousness, ethics, even the physics of spiritual energy.
Physics. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So our mission today is pretty focused.
Mm-hmm.
Cut through all that noise and complexity
Right.
and pull out the core principles, the universals that give you a solid framework for inner integrity, for connection, no matter what's happening outside.
That sounds like exactly the kind of shortcut our listeners need. So we're focusing on how to be genuinely you, that core spiritual self, in a world that's constantly trying to slap a label on you based on, I don't know, fear or what others expect.
Okay.
And using these sources to give a practical map to, well, self-knowledge and maybe a bit of personal power.
That's the plan.
Okay, so let's start right at the foundation then. Identity. The sources make this really key distinction, don't they, between being something and always doing something.
They do. It's fundamental. They state, pretty much point blank, that you already are that thing you're seeking.
You already are it.
Yeah. And waiting for some future point to be spiritual or, trying to act like someone you're not, that's called an illusion.
An illusion, okay.
It sounds a bit abstract, maybe, but it's incredibly simple and powerful. It's this I am principle.
The I am principle.
Right. The sources have this great quote. The ultimate state is I am equals being, no period.
No period. I like that. Just being.
Exactly. It's an assertion of just existing.
Yeah.
Inherently. No conditions, no waiting. It means your spiritual core, your essence, is inextricably connected to consciousness.
And that consciousness isn't just mine.
Not at all. It's the common element, shared by everyone, everything.
So, okay, if I accept that state of being, what does that actually do inside me?
Well, when you get to that point of full conscious awareness and acceptance of self, and I mean full acceptance, you naturally start vibrating, energetically speaking, in a compatible way. You're sort of tuning into the universe's frequency.
Oh.
You don't have to try to radiate positivity or something. You just have to be you, authentically.
That feels like a really strong place to be internally. But it also makes me think about the danger if you don't define yourself that way.
Yeah.
If you don't consciously own that I am, others step in, don't they?
Oh, immediately.
Yeah.
You become like a blank slate, exactly as you said.
Yeah.
And the world just rushes in to fill that space with a false identification.
And what kind of false identification?
Could be anything. Your job title, who you're married to, your social media persona, whatever the world defines you as.
And then you're stuck trying to maintain that fake thing.
Which takes huge effort.
Yeah.
It's draining. You're constantly dealing with this construct instead of just being.
You mentioned an analogy from the sources about this. Something about parents and devotees.
Yeah, it's a good one. Think about a parent and child. Or maybe a guru and a devotee.
Okay.
Initially, the parent or the guru might need to be something different for the sake of the child. They present as the all-knowing guide, the perfect model.
Right, the authority figure.
But that's meant to be temporary, a phase. It has to end. The child grows up, the devotee matures.
And they have to step up.
They have to embrace their own authentic self, take responsibility for their own path, their own choices. Otherwise, they just stay dependent, stuck in that external definition.
That makes sense. And that idea of taking responsibility, it leads straight into the next big theme, doesn't it? Choice.
Exactly. We live in a reality that's constantly shaped by action and consequence.
Always choosing.
Always. Life, everywhere, is just a series of dilemmas, patterns, and the absolute necessity of making choices. Constantly.
Input determines output.
Pretty much. And it's easy to think, oh, spirituality means I'm beyond cause and effect. But the sources stress, no, cause and effect is everywhere, even in the spiritual realms.
Okay, but what about when life speeds up? When you're stressed, things are breaking. The consequences are flying at you.
Ah, yes, the chaos moments.
Yeah, the sources have this brilliant, kind of counterintuitive technique. The saying is, you can speed up by slowing down.
It sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? But it's
Yeah.
actually very practical physics in a way.
How does it work?
When you're really stressed, like things feel like they're literally breaking and smashing around you.
Yeah, crisis mode, work meltdown, family emergency.
Right. The instruction is consciously, physically slow down, do things very deliberately and one step at a time.
So instead of rushing and probably making mistakes.
Exactly. You focus entirely on the one single thing you're doing right now. It becomes this very controlled form of acting.
Like what did they call it?
The Tai Chi of action.
Tai Chi of action. I like that. So it's active meditation, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's crucial when you can't just sit down and meditate because life is happening now. By slowing the physical action, your awareness catches up. You make fewer mistakes. And paradoxically, you get through the chaos more effectively, maybe even faster.
That disciplined approach is interesting when compared to how we often handle the past, especially bad stuff. We just want to forget trauma, forget mistakes.
Yeah, the urge is strong. Just erase it.
But the sources say, don't. Why not just forget it?
Because forgetting isn't processing. It's just hiding the data, suppressing it.
And suppressed things tend to pop up later.
They do. The sources warn it might surface unconsciously in behaviors, reactions, maybe even, they suggest, when you leave this body. Who knows? But the point isn't to forget.
It's integration.
Exactly. The past needs to no longer control you. That's the goal, not erasure.
I thought it was useful how the sources used examples of mistakes being good things.
Oh yeah, like penicillin,
Mm.
rubber, total accidents.
Right. Mistakes that change the world.
It proves mistakes are just data, learning opportunities. If you erase the mistake, you erase the lesson. You might just repeat it.
Okay, so that links to making decisions now. We often think spirituality means having absolute certainty, like zero doubt.
Yeah, that's a common idea. Rock solid faith.
But the sources challenge that, suggesting sometimes clarity can be counterproductive, and we should actually listen to nagging doubt.
It seems counterintuitive again, but doubt here is seen as a useful mechanism. Protective, even.
How so?
Well, if you feel really unsure or something's holding you back about a decision, the advice is, when in doubt, don't.
Just stop.
Pause. Yeah. Because charging ahead with false certainty, that can lead to big mistakes.
Yeah.
Hubris.
Okay.
That nagging doubt. It's often your subconscious, your deeper intuition processing information in the background that hasn't reached your conscious mind yet.
So pausing lets that information surface.
Exactly. You allow the answer to emerge naturally. You move from doubt to genuine clarity, not forced certainty.
Right. Okay, shifting gears a bit. From internal choices to how we connect with others, let's talk about the physics of connection. You mentioned physics earlier.
Yes, because it's not just psychology or good manners. The sources are clear. Physics is science, and physics means connection.
How does that work?
Consciousness is energy, pure energy. We're constantly sending out and receiving these energetic waves. Your internal state that I am, we started with, that's your energetic signature, your waveform, interacting with everything.
Wow. Okay, so that energy principle must define how we interact with people, maybe even with the divine, through something called reciprocation.
Precisely, and the sources are very specific. Reciprocation is not an echo chamber.
What's the difference? Echo chamber sounds like just bouncing the same energy back.
That's exactly it. You send me X, I send you X back. Nothing changes. There's no growth, no real connection.
So true reciprocation is?
It's mutual benefit. It means I receive your energy, I accept it, accommodate it, and then I add your whatever to it in the reply.
And my whatever.
Yeah, you add your perspective, your energy, your contribution. You make the exchange better, richer for both sides. You elevate it.
Okay, I see. That model seems really crucial when we talk about spiritual connection, like connecting with deities, for example. How does that general energy wave become something specific?
Right. So think of the general field of consciousness as like broad spectrum energy, a wave.
Okay.
When you focus that connection onto a specific deity or a specific spiritual point, that wave undergoes a specific condensation into the particular particle interaction.
Condensation into a particle. Can you simplify that? Like tuning a radio.
That's a great analogy, actually. The general consciousness is like radiostatic, all frequencies. Tuning into a deity is like locking onto a specific station. You condense the broad wave into a clear signal, a particle interaction.
Got it. But there's a warning here, right, about the mind?
A huge warning. The mind acts as a filter in this process. A very dangerous one.
Why dangerous? The mind helps us understand things.
Usually, yes. But here, the mind processes, interprets, it edits perception. It adds layers of analysis and expectation. And if the mind gets involved in that direct particle-level connection with divine energy, The sources describe the result as instant destruction.
Instant destruction? That sounds extreme.
It means the connection is immediately corrupted. It has to be direct. Heart to heart, energy to energy, bypassing the mental editor.
So the mind adds doubt, expectations.
Exactly. It translates pure energy flow into thoughts about the energy, which isn't the same as experiencing it. The deities, this material says, offer a hidden, wonderful experience.
Yin.
Hidden behind our mental filters. They're just waiting for us to accept their energy flow.
Yeah.
Purely. No doubt, no editing, no expectations, just receive.
That's a discipline in itself, bypassing the editor.
It really is.
And can we use the same idea in just everyday life with people?
Absolutely. When you interact with others, try seeing them in their waveform of consciousness.
Their waveform, meaning not trying to pin them down?
Exactly. Not trying to condense them into this point or particle, just their job title or their political view or your fixed idea of who they are.
See them as more fluid, more potential.
Yes. Recognize they are this evolving waveform of energy and possibility. When you do that, the sources say they like you much better.
Because you're actually seeing them, not your label for them.
It's genuine acceptance. It allows for that real unedited reciprocation we talked about.
This flow, this acceptance, it feels like it leads naturally to the highest purpose mentioned in the sources, ethics and service.
It does. It all culminates there.
Yeah.
The sources define the eternal purpose for every single living entity everywhere. Quite a statement as servitorship.
Servitorship, being of service.
Yes. And crucially, it's not framed as just a moral duty you should do. It's presented as a fundamental expression of love, which is just part of our basic nature.
But that's where things get tricky in the real world, right? That's where the rubber meets the road. We constantly face ethical dilemmas, me versus the group, my needs versus theirs.
Absolutely. Which is why the sources argue that ethics needs to be treated as a serious department of knowledge, as vital as any core spiritual text.
As important as the Bhagavad Gita, they said.
Yeah, pointing out that Arjuna starts the Gita not with metaphysics, but with an ethical crisis. What's the right thing to do here?
And our modern lives rarely match those ancient scenarios exactly.
Almost never. The ethical lines are blurry, complex.
So we can't just look up the answer in a book.
No. We have to learn the art of making choice properly for ourselves in our context.
And if we don't?
Then we just get batted around like a ping pong ball by whatever belief system is dominant at the moment. Corporate culture, political trends, social media outrage.
We lose our anchor.
Completely.
Yeah.
We need that internal compass rooted in our own authentic self and that drive towards service.
Which brings us right back to where we started, the chaos, the huge, scary existential crises, climate, politics, the economy.
All driven by fear, massive systemic issues.
So if we embrace our real identity, if we ground ourselves in ethical service, it gives us the strength to navigate that chaos, to be there for others, even when things are falling apart.
That's the idea. Service becomes the anchor. Your internal stability allows you to act effectively, compassionately, within the unstable external world.
Okay, let's synthesize this. Embrace your true being. Manage the chaos by choosing deliberately, sometimes slowly.
The Tai Chi of action.
Right. And engage with others and the divine through genuine reciprocated energy flow, aiming for service.
That's the framework.
Ooh.
But applying that framework leads to a rather stark conclusion in this material, a very heavy one.
Okay, what is it?
The sources are pretty blunt. They state that the current world system is so fundamentally broken, its structures are crumbling so fast, that this world we're living in cannot be saved.
Cannot be saved? Wow.
Yeah. The idea that we can fix it all, restore the old order, or engineer some global solution that's labeled flat out as an illusion.
That's a lot to take in, but I can almost see how that could be empowering, weirdly.
Also,
well, the sources also say that defining the problem clearly gives strength to individuals to gain their power back. If saving the whole external system is impossible, an illusion.
then where do you put your energy?
Exactly. What becomes the highest, most meaningful act of service then, if not fixing the world?
It shifts the focus entirely inward and to the immediate. The sources say, connect with the divine, love each other, and die in a nice way.
Die in a nice way, meaning live and transition with integrity.
I think so.
Yeah.
Focus on internal stability, direct connection, serving those you can actually reach, building genuine loving relationships. Forget the grand doomed project of saving the external structure. Focus on the quality of consciousness here and now.
Okay, so if that's the unavoidable truth presented here, the external systems are failing, they can't be saved, That leaves a really sharp question for you, the listener, doesn't it? Given that apparent hopelessness of the external situation, how does the clarity of your accepted self, your I am, and your capacity for genuine service, how does that dictate the specific concrete choice you need to make today? Right now.
The urgency shifts. It becomes internal, immediate.
What choice serves love, connection, and your own integrity in this moment, knowing the bigger picture?
Focus on that choice. That's where your real power is.
A provocative thought to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Always a pleasure. Until next time.